Mother or father? The king is smiling, sitting on his throne, his fingers drumming on the wooden armrest, as if this is a game. Maybe it is, for him. Choose, he says. Do you want to save your mother? Your father? If you choose one, the other dies. If you choose both die. If you choose neither. He pauses. The smile widens. Both die. You're 10 years old. 3 days ago you watched your village burn. Assyrian soldiers chained you, your mother, your father, and brought you to this palace. Now you're in the king's hall, and he has designed a game for you. 10 seconds, says the king. 9, 8. You look at your mother's face. She's crying, shaking her head. You don't know what she means. Is she saying, choose me, choose your father, or don't choose anyone? You look at your father. He's not crying, but there's something in his eyes, not fear, something worse, helplessness. 5, 4, you must choose. But how? How do you choose a mother or a father? How do you give life to one, death to the other? 2, 1. Your mouth opens. You need to say a name. Just one name. But no sound comes out. Before diving into these forgotten stories of survival and suffering, if you enjoy learning about the hidden truths of history, consider hitting that like button and subscribing for more content like this. And please comment below to let me know where you're listening from. I find it incredible that we're exploring these ancient stories together from different parts of the world, connected across time and space by our shared curiosity about the past. 3 days ago, Arran's life was normal. Hard, but normal. He lived in a small village near the Tigris River. His father was a farmer, his mother was a weaver. He had no siblings, which was both good and bad. Less food to share, but also less love to share. He was 10 years old enough to work in the fields, young enough to still love listening to his mother's songs. His life was like that of thousands of children living in the shadow of the Assyrian Empire in 680 AD. Uncertain, fragile, but livable. That morning was like any other. His father had gone to the fields at sunrise. His mother sat at her loom, weaving thread. Arran was going to the well to fill the water jug. Then he heard the sound. From far away, deep, rhythmic, like drums but heavier. Footsteps, hundreds, thousands of footsteps, metal clanking, straps sliding over leather. The army was coming. Arran ran to the house. "Mother! Father!" he shouted. But it was already too late. Assyrian soldiers swept into the village. They were on horseback, armored and merciless. This wasn't an invasion. It was a harvest, a human harvest. The village showed no resistance because it couldn't. They had no weapons, no trained warriors, just farmers, weavers, children, and before the Assyrian army, these meant nothing. Arran's father tried to run home, but a soldier blocked his path, held a spear. Father stopped. Arran's mother held him. "Don't make a sound," she whispered. "Hide." But there was nowhere to hide, and even if there had been, it wouldn't have mattered. The soldiers swept through the houses. They searched for valuables, gold, silver, grain. But there was none in the village. This was a poor place. There were only people. And to the Assyrian army, people were enough. For 3 days they walked, from the village to Nineveh, to Assyria's capital, to the heart of the empire. Arran, his mother, his father, they were bound by chains. Heavy iron rings had been placed around their necks. One chain connected them to each other, another connected that chain to other captives. They had to walk. If they fell, they would be dragged or left behind. The first night, Arran cried. His mother stroked his hair. "Everything will be fine," she said, but her voice was trembling. Because everything wouldn't be fine, and they both knew it. His father didn't speak at all. He just walked. His eyes were empty. Arran had never seen him like this. His father was always strong, always had a solution. But now, there was no solution. The second night, Arran slept hungry. They had been given some bread and water, but it wasn't enough. He felt the ache in his stomach, but didn't complain. Because around him, people were dying. The old, the sick, those too tired, they fell to the ground and were left behind. A woman fell 50 meters ahead. Her son cried, begged. The soldiers didn't listen. They cut the chain, left the woman by the roadside, kept the son walking. The child's screams followed them for miles. On the third day, they saw Nineveh's walls, massive, enormous stone walls. On them were reliefs, lions, bulls, winged gods, and statues of the king everywhere. Arran had looked at him. King Sennacherib, conqueror of Assyria, master of the world. At least that's what was written at the base of the statues. Inside the city, everything was massive. Buildings, statues, temples. Arran's entire village couldn't fit here, not even in a single building. They herded the captives into an area. There were other captives too, hundreds, thousands, from different places. They spoke different languages, but they had the same expression on their faces: fear. Then they separated them. Families, groups. Soldiers walked around, selecting people, some to the right, some to the left. Arran couldn't understand by what logic. A soldier stopped in front of them, looked at Arran, his mother, his father, then said something. In Akkadian, Arran didn't understand, but another soldier translated. Family, child, palace. Arran's stomach dropped. The palace was frightening. It looked magnificent from outside, but inside it was freezing cold. Stone walls, torches, shadows, and reliefs. Reliefs on every wall, battle scenes, conquest scenes, the king killing enemies, soldiers burning cities, women crying, children being taken captive. Arran tried not to look at them, but they were everywhere. He couldn't escape. They took them to a great hall. The ceiling was high, the columns were massive, and at the end, a throne made of gold decorated with stones. And on it, a man sat, King Sennacherib. Arran had imagined him like a monster, giant, terrifying. But the real Sennacherib, he looked normal, a middle-aged man, bearded. His eyes were intelligent but cold. Around him were palace officials, priests, soldiers, advisors. All were silent, just watching. The king stood up, approached them with slow steps, stood before Arran's family, examined them one by one, his mother, his father, Arran. Then he smiled. "Perfect," he said in Akkadian. One of his advisors translated. Arran didn't understand. What was perfect? The king returned to his throne, sat down, raised his hand. A priest came, whispered something in his ear. The king nodded. Then he looked at Arran, directly, into his eyes. "Child," said the translator, "come closer." Arran trembled. His mother squeezed his hand. Father did nothing. "Come closer." The voice was harsher. Arran walked, steps heavy, legs shaking. He stopped in front of the king. "What is your name?" the king asked. "Arran," said the translator, repeating Arran's answer. "Arran, beautiful name. I'm going to play a game with you, Arran. Do you like games?" Arran said nothing. How could he answer? "I love them," the king continued, "especially interesting ones." "And this? This is very interesting." He leaned back on his throne. His fingers tapped on the armrest. "Look behind you, Arran. Do you see your mother and father?" Arran turned. His mother was crying. Father was still staring blankly. "Do you love them?" Arran nodded. "Of course you do. Every child loves. But now I'm going to ask you a question. Which one do you love more?" Arran's heart stopped. "Your mother? Your father? Choose." I both." No, the king laughed. "Not both. One." "Which one?" Arran couldn't say anything. The king leaned forward. "Listen to me, little Arran. Very simple game. You choose one. That one lives. The other dies. Understand?" Arran's eyes filled. Please what? Please forgive both? But that's against the rules of the game. The rule is you choose. Choose one. That one lives. If you don't choose..." He paused. The smile disappeared. "If you don't choose, both die. Right now." Immediately, the hall fell into deep silence. 10 seconds, said the king. 9. Time slowed. Everything blurred. Arran heard only 3 things. The king's counting, his mother's sobbing, his own heartbeat. 8. He looked at his mother. She had raised him for years, fed him, clothed him, sung songs, taught him everything about the world, how to be kind, how to be good, how to love. 7, he looked at his father. He protected him always, when other children teased, when wolves approached the village, when storms came. His father was there, like a mountain, unshakable, strong. 6, but now he was shaking. There was panic in his eyes. He was silently begging. But for what? To be chosen? Not to be chosen? 5, his mother spoke. The translator interpreted. Choose me. Please, your father must live, must carry the family. 4, father stepped forward. No, choose me. Your wife must live. Be your mother. 3, Aaron's mind shattered. How could he choose? Which would hurt less? If mother lived, father died. If father lived, mother died. If he chose neither, both died. 2, the king's face was like a mask. He was enjoying this. For him, this was a game. But for Arran, it was everything. 1, his mouth opened. He had to say a name. But which? Which? Mother? The word slipped from his tongue, like a whisper, but loud enough. The hall froze. The king smiled. Mother. You said your mother should live. Arran nodded. He was crying. Yes. Mother. Please. The king stood up, slowly clapped. Perfect. A choice has been made. Arran relaxed. Mother was saved. Father. Then the king said something. Guards moved, but they grabbed his mother, not his father. Stop! No, Arran screamed. I chose mother. Mother should live, the king laughed. Deep, cold laughter. Oh, little Arran, didn't you understand? I forgot to explain this game's rule. He approached, leaned on Arran's shoulder, whispered in his ear. The one you choose dies. The one you don't choose lives. Arran's world collapsed. No. His mother was dragged. She wasn't screaming, just looking at her son. There was no anger in her eyes, only sadness and love. I love you, Arran, she said. The translator didn't interpret, but Arran understood. Then she was gone. Guards took her from the hall. Arran ran, but soldiers held him. Arran screamed, her name, mother. But the sound echoed and disappeared. Arran and his father stayed in a cell. It was dark, cold, silent. Father said nothing, never, just kept staring at the wall. Arran didn't speak either. What could he say? I'm sorry? I didn't know. Words were meaningless. His mother was dead because of him, because he chose her, because he wanted to save her. Hours passed, maybe days. Time was lost. Then the door opened. A guard came. Child, come. They took Arran back to the hall. The king was still there, on his throne, smiling. Ah, little Arran, you're back. Good. Because I want to tell you something. Arran said nothing. He had lost his voice. Today you learned a lesson. A very important lesson. Choices don't matter. Whoever has power sets the rules, and you have no power. Understand? Arran was confused. But you said, the one I chose would live. I lied. The king shrugged. Emperors can lie. You can't. That's power too. He leaned forward. And now you will work for me. Serve in the palace with your father for years, and every day, every hour, you'll remember your mother's face, and you'll remember you're the one who killed her. Arran's knees collapsed. Ah, don't cry, said the king. You look weak. Be strong. Ask your father. He's strong, isn't he, father? Father said nothing. Arran worked in the palace for 15 years, carried food for guards, cleaned floors, took orders, received punishments. His father was there too, but they didn't speak. Never. Because what could they say? Arran thought of his mother every day, saw her in his dreams every night. The moment he chose her, her face, her last look. I love you, Arran, but love hadn't saved her. Arran's choice had killed her. One day when Arran was 25, The king died, in battle or by assassination. Details didn't matter. The captives were freed. Arran and his father left the city, returned to their village, or tried to. But there was no village. It had been burned. 25 years ago, only ashes remained. "Let's go home," said Arran. Father shook his head. "There is no home." For the first time in 15 years, Father looked at him. In his eyes, something. Pain. And perhaps forgiveness. "You were right," said Father. "Your mother should have lived. Her death, it wasn't your fault. It was mine. For coming with you. For not being able to protect you." Arran cried, for the first time in 15 years, and his father held him for the first time since that day. They both remembered Mother, and they both knew she would never return. Centuries later, archaeologists excavated Nineveh, found Sennacherib's palace, the walls, the reliefs, and on one panel they found a scene, 3 figures, a child, a woman, a man, before them a king, and Akkadian writing. The choice game. The child chose wrong. Both die. But the archaeologists mistranslated. They said both. But in Akkadian the word was more complex, not both, all, because that day in that hall 3 people died, his mother physically, his father spiritually, and Arran, his innocence. Assyria's power wasn't this, not its armies, walls, kings. Its power was forcing people to destroy what they loved with their own hands, and then letting them carry that burden for life. Is Arran's story true? Did it happen exactly this way? We don't know. But what we know, Assyria played these kinds of games. There are records, there are reliefs, there are testimonies. And more importantly, this story repeated throughout history, with different names, different places, but the same essence, forcing children to make impossible choices, then making them live with those choices, and destroying them without killing them. In the Holocaust, in Nazi camps, children made choices. Which sibling lives? Which parent goes to the gas chamber? In Soviet gulags, families were split. Children were forced to inform on the state, mother or father, both enemies. In modern wars, child soldiers under command, forced to burn their villages, forced to kill their families. Systems change, but the cruelty is the same. Give the child a choice, but poison every option. Then make them live with that choice. The decision Arran made at age 10 destroyed his life, killed his mother, destroyed his father, ruined himself. But worst of all, he had no other option. Whatever answer he gave, the outcome wouldn't have changed, because the game was rigged to lose. Today, that palace is ruins. Assyria is gone. Sennacherib is dust. But the relief remains, and the warning remains. Power doesn't just kill, it creates choices, impossible choices, and then holds those choices forever in the victim's conscience. Arran died, maybe at 25, maybe at 50, but in reality, at age 10, in that hall when he made that choice, because from that moment, every breath was his mother's missing breath. Every day was the day he lost her. Every moment was the moment he couldn't see her face. And the world turned. Assyria fell. Other empires came. But children like Arran, they always remained, with different names, different times, with the same choice, mother or father. And there's never a right answer. There never was.